Let's talk from the perspective of the landowners going, wait, what are you doing? I got kicked out of my own home. I don't have a place to stay. Why should you be putting somebody else in?
Well, we only move families into government-owned homes or bank-owned foreclosures, not into places that are owned by individuals. So these are banks. And looking at it from the taxpayer point of view, these banks are getting billions of dollars, literally billions of dollars in bailout money. And yet while they're getting those billions of dollars, they're allowed to keep these assets, these homes, and they're keeping them vacant. So I don't think it makes much sense for the government to give billions of dollars to these banks in grants and loans and other things while these homes are allowed to remain vacant and there are people homeless on the street. Either don't take the money or give up the houses so human beings can benefit from them, not corporations who are going to be able to cash in later on.
Max, what has been the response from local officials and authorities as well as those who are in the police department?
Well, we've been pretty open about this since we started in October of 2007, and we really haven't had any response to speak of.
Okay, let's take a look at this. I was reading a local report here, and it says that Florida has the nation's second highest foreclosure rate, so you're taking advantage of that perhaps. Like 178 homes in default at the moment. How much need is there out there, and how much supply is there out there for all of these homeless families?
Well, there's a lot of supply. The supply is somewhat compromised by the fact that these homes are left vacant for incredibly long periods of time where no one is living in them, and that at some point others get into them and they steal copper wiring or plumbing or other things like that. So the other benefit of having these families there is that they have an interest in maintaining the home in which they are staying, and the condition of the home is much better than if these places were left open and vacant. So families get a decent place to stay,
right.
And actually the property is maintained a lot better than if they weren't there.
Okay, you've seen all the reports coming out lately. We had the jobless rate yesterday, over 500,000 in November. The concern is, how many people can you help? I understand that you've helped at least 6 families. You got almost 10 people on a waiting list for what you're doing at Take Back the Land. Who are these people?
Well, they're people who are really hurt by this crisis. A good number of the families who we've helped have been evicted themselves, either foreclosures. We've had several who have been foreclosed on and several who are renting and were evicted. And they're trying to make ends meet. And the prices of housing still hasn't come down enough so that a good number of people can afford them. And these are just people who ran out of options. So they're able to go there, save a little money, and then when they move on to the next location, they saved enough money to pay rent. I think the demand is there. And the supply is clearly there, where you have all these vacant homes, and it's not benefiting the bank any at all right now. They're getting the money for these houses from these billions of dollars of bailouts. So I think it's immoral to have vacant, empty homes on one side of the street and homeless families living in parks and sleeping in bushes on the other side of the street. It makes perfect sense to match these vacant homes, these peopleless homes,
right,
with homeless people.
So, Max, you have no misgivings about what you're doing at all, it sounds like what you're saying. And in fact, you've taken it very personally. You've actually helped some of these people by driving them to homes, haven't you?
Yeah, so that's part of the deal. You know, if people are homeless and are struggling, oftentimes they need help moving their belongings and moving their things. So we do help them move in. We help them clean up. We do require the residents participate in the cleanup. The residents are required to get electricity in the house, and if the electricity doesn't work because of the cables have been cut or something like that, we do provide solar panels so that they have electricity in the house. So we are interested in improving the standard of living from the street, even if it's not as improved as it could be.